How's it going?
It's good.
I'm the investigator on the case, and how about we start out with you just giving me or stating your name for the camera, maybe a little bit of contact information and background, where you grew up, something about yourself.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Taylor Hobson. My address is 2121 Midland Center, Midland. I grew up in the Midlands area, and then I went to college at Calkins College in Midlands area.
Okay. And how do you know Danny Dawson and Vanessa?
I met Danny Dawson when I went to go visit Vanessa at school.
Okay.
I briefly saw him one weekend. The day I saw him, he was kind of drunk out in the parking lot. We were going to, I think, a basketball game. And when we left the basketball game, he was stumbling around in the parking lot, and so he was really drunk. He tried fighting off. He fought off his friends to get to his car to drive home, which he shouldn't have been driving, I don't think. But Vanessa said he made it home the next morning.
Okay. Was that the only time you ever hung out with them, or did you know him? Did you hang out with him other times?
I didn't know him that well,
Mhm.
besides the one interaction I had with him, and then the night of Vanessa's 21st birthday.
Okay. Can you just give me a quick overview of what happened that whole night? Just starting from start to finish.
Yeah, well, me and Vanessa had plans to go see Chuggies because a former high school student of ours, he was the lead singer in the band.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was also her 21st birthday, so we were going to go there. I had previously worked at Chuggies for 2 years or so in the summers to help pay for college.
So you knew everyone there.
I knew a fair amount of people. They hired a lot of new people. Like, I had never worked with Jordan, but I always heard
Jordan was
one of the bartenders.
bartender.
Jordan. Yep.
Okay.
He, I guess, was good friends with Danny. I didn't know that, but yeah, he worked there. Pat, the server, and then the taxi cab driver. He was always the same taxi cab driver, but everyone else was new people that I never met before. So I had worked there for 2 years when I did an internship. But going back to the night or the afternoon, we had plans to go hang out there, and then Vanessa called me and said, "Oh, Danny Dawson's coming," and she was like, I wasn't very happy about that because I wanted to hang out with just my friend on 21st, and this guy seemed kind of like a drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was upset about that, but it was her 21st, so I kind of just let it go, and it was a cool band that we were seeing, so I wasn't going to be too mad about that. But anyway, she gets home, I think, around maybe 11 o'clock in the morning that day. We hang out all afternoon and evening and just kind of, I don't know, we're just getting ready for the night. We show up to the bar at about 7. The lead singer of the at the band Chatterbox at Chuggies, he reserved a table for us up in front. We sat down. Danny ordered us whiskey ginger ale beers, which I don't drink whiskey, so I didn't drink that. I just kind of pushed that off to the side. I think he ended up drinking most of it. We had dinner. The show started. We were doing more drinks and whatnot, and then Danny drove home, and that's when the accident happened.
Okay. So let's backtrack a little bit. What did you do prior to going to Chuggies? And did you have any contact with Danny? Did Vanessa say anything about Danny, or did she say anything that might be important that we should know about?
She just said that he had an interview early that morning, and he was going to be at Chuggies from early afternoon until whenever we showed up.
Okay.
We didn't do much. We were just at her house hanging out. We didn't drink or we weren't doing anything. We were just relaxing. It was cool to be back with her, so we were just catching up on old times.
And you guys drove to the bar together?
Yep, we took Vanessa's car.
Okay. So you arrive at 7 at Chuggies. Do you see Danny right away?
Yeah, he was
How
at
did
the.
how did he seem? How was he?
He
acting?
seemed drunk. He seemed. I think I don't know how many drinks he had before that, but he definitely seemed drunk. Sitting at the bar, drinking with Jordan, I believe, and then he smelled like booze when he came over and started talking to us. We had, instead of drinking that ginger whiskey gingers that he got us, we had a glass of wine instead
Okay.
for dinner, or with dinner. And Jordan kept trying to pester us by buying shots, and I didn't do many of them, but I know Vanessa kind of obliged and took a couple, maybe.
Okay. Did you guys pick a sober cab once you guys arrived, or did you guys plan on taking a taxi?
Vanessa told me that Danny agreed to be the sober cab driver.
Okay.
I was under the impression that he was going to be driving, but the whole time I was like, "There's no way this guy's going to be able to drive by the end of the night." But I kept like I asked Vanessa a handful of times if Danny was going to drive,
Hmm.
and she said, "Yeah, just don't worry about it." And then I told Danny, I'm like, "You just don't seem like you're going to be able to drive at the end of the night." And he kind of told me to be quiet and stop ruining the fun. And anyone can drive with having a couple beers every hour or so. And so
Do you think he was trying to maybe show off because he mentioned that he had some feelings for Vanessa? Do you think he was just trying to show off for Vanessa since it was her birthday?
I think so. I also think that he just likes drinking. I don't know how his interview went or whatever. So I think he thought he was a good enough driver to drive drunk, and since he drove home that one time I met him, I mean, I figured that he drove home all the time drunk. So
Did you see him talking to like maybe anyone from the band or the bartender or maybe the waiter? Maybe I just want to figure out if maybe someone was giving him free drinks or maybe giving him stronger drinks than usual.
Jordan, he was our bartender, and I kind of heard uh, Danny make a passing joke like, "Hey, make him stiff."
Hmm.
I had always heard that Danny or Jordan made drinks stronger than what they need to be, but I've never taken a drink of his drinks.
Hmm.
But tonight he made one of my screwdrivers, and I thought there was a lot more vodka in there than what I'm accustomed to. So I couldn't imagine what he was doing for his buddy, Danny. So I would assume that he makes the drink stronger.
Okay. Um, so what time did you guys leave the bar again?
We left to go to the car about 12:45 ish. Got in the car 12:48, 49, somewhere in there.
And how many drinks do you and Vanessa have before leading up to leaving the bar?
I know we each had a couple glasses of wine. Pat, he was refilling our drinks so quick that I kind of lost a little track. But during the first set, I would say maybe a couple. I went up to go to the bathroom during intermission. I got back, and the line was so long, so I didn't have time to get another drink or whatnot. But I had left a drink at the table. It was a screwdriver, and by the time I got back, it was gone, and the
Mm.
cup was sitting in front of Danny.
Mm.
So I can't say that he drank it, but it looked pretty obvious that he drank it.
Okay, so with the drinks you seen Danny buy and purchase and drink himself, and with maybe the suspected drinks that you thought maybe he took from you or someone else, how many drinks do you think Danny took?
Uh, Between 7 and 12.50, I would probably say 8 or 9. I thought he drank a lot more than he should have.
Okay.
I know the band gave us free shots at one point
Mm.
and a free drink later. So I think he had more drinks than he should have.
Okay. And did you guys just leave, or was there a reason for you guys leaving besides maybe?
Well, the set was over, and so we were getting ready to go, and Vanessa had to be home by 1 o'clock, so we were already out later than we should have been.
Mm.
And I think Danny kept us out later than what we needed to be because he had to sober up.
Okay. Now Danny said there was a taxi driver, and you guys didn't take the taxi driver. What happened?
Well, when we were walking out, I said that we should take the ride, come back and just get the car. But Vanessa didn't want to leave her car there,
Mm-hmm.
and then because her mom gets really upset about when she leaves her nice car around. But when I said to Danny, he told me to basically shut up, that I'm not paying for 2 cab fares out and then back to come get the car.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that he's a champ at driving a little bit buzz, so he said he could do it. And
Also, we looked at the receipt for Danny, and it said that he was eating some. He had like a burger and some fries. Do you remember him having any food when he was at the bar?
yeah, he ate leftovers. I know he ordered the cheese fries. I didn't see him eat the burger. That could have been later in the day, but he ate leftovers off our food,
Oh,
off our
okay.
plates. So yeah, he did eat.
Okay. Also, how was the weather when you guys left the?
It had been raining earlier in the evening, but at this point, it was just maybe a light mist or light rain, but it was still wet on the ground, I think.
Okay. And was the car in good condition? Was there anything wrong with the car
No,
that you know?
there was nothing wrong. Vanessa's parents loved that car, and so they always had it, detailed and in the body shop and just making sure it was good to go.
Okay. I know Danny mentioned he'd had some DUI instances before. Do you know if he was even legally able to drive?
Um, I was intoxicated myself, but by the look of him, I don't think he was anywhere near being able to drive. I thought I remember him doing. I don't remember what shot it was. It was a shot before we left, and then he was just drinking pop. But I thought he was. He just looked really drunk, in my opinion.
Okay. So you guys get in the car, you're driving. Are you guys speeding?
To me, it feels like we're doing like 80, but
Hmm.
I'm.
And this is like a residential road, or is this a highway, or?
It's not a busy. I wouldn't classify it as a highway. I'd say it's like a county road or something like that. But it's something that you shouldn't be going fast on because it twists and turns all over the place.
Over the speed limit?
Yeah, and I thought to me it felt like we were doing well over the speed limit, and I was unsafe.
Mm-hmm. Was anyone texting on the phone, or we know that Vanessa was on the phone?
Yeah, she made a phone call to her dad.
She
telling,
said that Danny was swerving.
to me, I'm trying to remember, but yeah, I think he was swerving. She told her dad to, at one point we had a conversation before she called her dad to say, well, hey, just slow down because we'll just tell her dad that we left too late and we're not going to be home on time. And Danny just wanted to get home by 1 o'clock. I think he was trying to prove something and do her like an honor or something and get her home by 1 o'clock, but it was not safe.
Um, Danny also mentioned that he crashed because he saw a deer.
There was no deer.
No deer.
I was looking out. I was sitting in the middle of the back seat, or I was kind of leaning over, just to make sure we weren't going to crash. And I didn't see a deer. He kept saying that there's a deer or something in the road, but there's no way there was a deer.
Okay. And after you guys crashed, do any of you guys call the cops, or is it because Danny said it was one of the residential people around the area who called, and his name was London Bennett. Did you speak to him at all? Or?
At that point, everything was a little foggy. I didn't talk to the police. I know Danny took off running to London Green's house, or Bennett's house, and I just remember being soaked in what was a combination of rain and blood when I got out of the car. And so
you said that Danny took off after you guys did he talk to the police or take a
I saw him do a couple tests out there, but I kind of was in shock, and I was kind of hysterical because Vanessa was pronounced dead.
Was Danny running to London Bennett's house to get help, or was he running just to get away from the scene?
I think he was going to get help. I don't think he was trying to flee anything. Okay. He was walking under his own volition when he came back. It's not like he was being dragged.
Okay. Well, that's all the questions I have for today. I'm sorry about your friend, but we'll be in touch, and hopefully this moves along and we can get this settled.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.